Greetings, all you Jackson, Jennison. Welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger post-miracle week, because I told you it was going to happen. I didn't say we'd win in the bets, but I gave you the definition of what needed to happen. And sure enough, my kids are out there cheering for the damn Vegas Raiders with 2 minutes to go in a tie ball game in overtime, because somehow the Jacksonville Jaguars do not lose to the Indianapolis Colts in Jacksonville. We're sitting here, Steelers Nation, on the edge of our seats. We had Gingy sleeping in his bed. We had Laskers passed out on his couch. But Donkey and the kids were up watching, praying, and Daniel Carlson, your charities just got a bunch richer because you put the Pittsburgh Steelers into the number 7 seed. Boys, I know you didn't watch it, but let me know how this magical first ever Week 18 treated you.
Boys. Playoff football. I was all over that. The Steelers game, obviously, Donkey. We definitely partook in Week 18 football. We just didn't make it quite to the end of that Sunday night game. That was quite the marathon, Donkey. We got work on Monday
Too much
morning.
overtime. Too much overtime for you, Gingy? Just a little bit too much after the Steelers?
Well,
a little bit too much?
Got to take a little nap after the Steelers game. That got quite emotional, Donkey. Ravens. Final game of the season. Playoffs on the line. Wasn't even thinking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was locked in, Donkey, on where we needed to be, and so were the Steelers.
Well, we needed to be in 3 places at once, and Vegas Raiders, all I have to say is thank you guys for believing in the competitive balance of football, because if I was you when I got that ball on that last drive, I'm pretty sure I would have just took a knee and took my team to the playoffs. Laskers,
I'm still
seeing what happened this weekend, what was the craziest part of it? The fact that the Raiders and Chargers almost tied? The fact that the Steelers beat the Ravens in overtime? Or the fact that the Jaguars literally walloped the Indianapolis Colts, who now have to be sitting there going, why the hell did we trade for Carson Wentz?
Well, you can't say the Colts because the Jaguars have owned them since like 2014 at home, so that doesn't really come as a surprise. And I'm not really sure how they've been able to handle that one, but it's kind of funny if you think about it.
Yeah, when you consider 2 of those seasons they were 3-13, and one of them they were 1-15. Yes, it is quite an understatement to say that they have owned someone anywhere.
And we got to look at the game today. Today being Saturday, Wildcard weekend, and it looked like the Raiders shouldn't even didn't show up, but they shouldn't even been in there. So they probably should have just kneeled that ball down.
Well, you know what? Bengals are a good team, and hats off for winning your first playoff game since I was born way back in the year of 1990. I mean, Jesus, that's a long time to go between playoff wins, so
Here.
kudos to Joe Burrow and Skyline Chili, I guess.
Ugh, gross.
I agreed with that, but I had to put those two together because if anyone knows, Joe Burrow totally ripped on Skyline Chili when he got drafted. But, I mean, the Raiders also haven't won a playoff game since, 2002, the year they went to the Super Bowl. So that was 2 teams desperate for a win. Gingy, did you get a partake in any of the second game where Bill Belichick-led team gave up 7 straight touchdowns to the Buffalo Bills?
Just beat the brakes off of them, Donkey. I mean, Bills' offense clicking on all cylinders. Made them look real good. Bills at one of them streaky teams. They'll go drop 40-plus this week, and hopefully don't go lay an egg, but, they're the team that can do that.
I believe the stat was, and Laskers, maybe you can help me on this, but I believe the stat was the Bills have won every one of their games by 12-plus points. If they win by a lot, I believe is what was said on the broadcast by Mr. Ian Eagle, wearing the ugliest jacket ever that was sent to him by the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. So those are the games that happened. We talked about Miracle Sunday, which I still can't believe that happened, and the fact that the NFL, thanks to the Raiders, got away. And no one, by the way, talking about how that was really stupid for that game to be the Sunday night game, purely because all the networks make money off it, so no big network person is going to point out that competitive nature of football was put at risk, and it's shown to be there, but luckily the Raiders played it out, because someone should have called it out, but no major news network will. I feel the only person I heard call it out was Pat McAfee, which makes sense because Barstool doesn't have any money to be made by there being a Sunday night game on the last week of the regular season. But now, the Steelers get Juju Smith-Schuster, why is that hard to say, back this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Ben's probably going to try to throw it to him 100 times. But I want to paint you a picture of a football team that does not belong in the playoffs. I'm going to give you some numbers, and you're all going to be like, why is this team here? Let's start off with, first and foremost, a team with a 2-6 record against football teams with a winning record. And one of these games, the football team they played was missing their top 3 yard producers on offense for the game. And one of those 2 wins versus their 6 losses. But we're going to go a team with a point differential of negative 55, which is 22nd worst in the league. Their turnover margin's respectable at +2. That puts them 13th. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. They average 20.2 points a game. That's 21st in the league. Their yards per game is 23rd in the league. Yards per play is 28th in the league. Rush yards per game and rush yards per attempt are 29th in the league. Pass yards a game, they're 15th. Pass yards per attempt, though, they're 30th. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. It gets a little brighter here, so maybe there's some hope. 20th in the league at 23.4 points a game. 24th in yards per game. 19th in yards per play. Dead last in both rushing yards per game and rushing yards per attempt. But passing yards per attempt, they're 9th. And passing yards per game, they're 9th. And passing yards per attempt, they're 13th. So I painted you the pretty picture of a team that does not belong. A team that is not very good. But they're a team that's here, so why the hell not is what I say. And for anyone who knows, clearly I'm talking about your 2021 Pittsburgh Steelers. Gingy, those are some ugly numbers. We're going against the Chiefs, who slacked us 36-10 last time. But we're here, dude, so why the hell not, right?
Those are some hurtful words, Donkey. There's some very hurtful words. What you're glossing over ever so gracefully here is a team that's full of grit and a team that really right now I think is gelling in terms of moxie.
This is a team that 4 times in the past 10 games has been down 25 points by halftime against teams with winning records. So don't say there's a lot of grit there.
Frankly,
let's just be honest.
Frankly, this is a team talent-wise, I think, that has outperformed itself at 9-7-1. All right,
for sure.
In terms of talent, and that
got one, baby.
And that is what I'm saying. This is more talent-wise. I mean, I don't know, Donkey. I didn't do all the players in terms of individual PFF rankings, but offensive line.
Do you just want me to tell you it's all bad?
No, well, I mean, I'm sure that's what I'm saying. So that for a team of this nature to end up 9-7-1, to go to Baltimore when Baltimore also playing for their playoff lives in that moment. This is no small, Baltimore's not out of it at this point, okay? Yeah. So going to their house and going into a snot knocker, as I know that we all called last week. I don't know about you guys. I defined that game last week as a snot knocker.
Ugly.
Wasn't
I
good.
don't know what I'll define it as other than ugly.
And
in the most beautiful way ever, I guess.
That team coming out of that building with a win and eventually, because of it, a playoff berth. I don't think that should be undersold, Donkey. Given all the numbers that you have put out there, which are...
There's 14 teams left remaining. You have a ticket. Ugly. Well, actually 12 now. 12 teams left remaining. If you have a ticket, you have a chance. I'm not disagreeing. I said those are ugly numbers. We're here. Why not? I've seen the freaking Giants do it a couple times. I mean, why not? Why can't it be us? I mean,
we do have some heavy heavy uphill battle ahead of us. Given what we saw what was that, 4 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago? 3? I don't remember now.
Which game do you want to talk
the
about?
Kansas City game.
Chiefs.
When we played Kansas City in the regular season. I think that was 4. From this point, it was end of November, almost 6 weeks ago, right?
It was 3 weeks ago. It was the 26th.
So it's 3 weeks
Oh,
ago.
okay. It was right after Christmas. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's the game that put us at 7-7-1.
Yep. Okay. So I mean, we seen them recently, and that. Ugh. Well, I mean,
That was without Travis Kelce too.
Let's go back to the tape of us after that. In terms of daily dose, donkey, there was we got a daily dose of ass whooping that weekend.
All I have to say about that, Gingy, I'm gonna defend myself here. You remember my exact quote at the beginning of the year? This team is built to be 8-8-1, and if we're any better, it's because we play teams when they got hurt. You know what's really awesome? Both the Browns and the Ravens had hurt quarterbacks, and we did what I said we would need to do, and that's take advantage of teams when they're hurt. We did it to the Browns, we did it to the Ravens, we did it to the Titans, but you know what? I don't care how we did it. I don't care how ugly this team looks. You get in the playoffs, you just need to play 60 minutes of good football.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, there's some grit for some guys that I saw really step up last week. I think Najee made a big step up last week. I think that's a good entrance for that guy. I mean, he's grinding. And there was some.
I'm honest with you here, and it's an unpopular opinion. That Baltimore team is not as good as they were last year or the year before. That offensive line just doesn't generate push. And while their receiving core is better, it's just that's a team that's built around their offensive line. And I'll be honest, trading Orlando Brown Jr. to unfortunately the team we have to play this week was the worst move that franchise could have made. They got rid of a franchise left tackle for essentially nothing.
I don't disagree. What I'm banking on, though, Donkey, is what I saw last week in terms of some major step up. I saw some major third down conversions and big moments from Muth.
Bro, we played overtime and only scored 16 points. We're going to need another big step up from that because I don't care how good our defense plays. I don't think we're holding Kansas City under 20.
Well, yeah, be that as it may.
What we need is
a genie
explosion, Gingy.
Some turnovers.
And I want to go to Laskers here. Laskers, how does the Steelers generate an explosion against a pretty solid Kansas City Chiefs defense?
Well, first I'm going to answer your question. The 12 points is correct. And do you know who that team was against? It was against the Patriots. That was the only game that they did not win by more than 12 when they won a game.
For the Bills?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
what I'm talking about.
how we generate an explosion is Najee's going to be running his wheels off.
Definitely would be a good thing to see, and maybe that lets us control the clock and keep Patty Mahomes off the field. And maybe you're now tied for NFL sack record, man. T.J. Watt gets him some of Patty Mahomes early and often.
Or, I don't know if we talked about this too in depth, Donkey. Is the return of Juju Smith-Schuster the shot in the arm that this offense needs?
No. Let me answer that with a big affinity. No. He is better, however, than Ray McLeod, so I'm hoping for a little increase there. But, I mean, you're talking a guy who
hasn't played in a long time.
I remember him in big moments doing one thing, Laskers. It's putting the ball on the ground.
Yeah, and that does that can happen with him, Donkey. But there's one thing that I'm looking for right now, and that's with a guy I really, I was touting it all year. I wanted to see it. I was saying that Chase Claypool is going to be the step up. He's going to be the guy. He took a step, but he still is not the guy who I want when we're in a contested catch position. Juju Smith-Schuster, I would much rather have in that position.
If you're trying to have me have a man catch, the guy I'm throwing the ball to is James Washington. And that's what I'm afraid of, is Juju being healthy means James Washington doesn't play.
No, that's not what we want. I want J-Dub out
That's
there.
what I see
instead
happening there. But bigger problem to me is Kansas City, when they played us last, showed the ability to not be afraid to run the ball. And you look at the teams who beat us, they're the teams who stick with running the football. I don't see why Kansas City gets away from a recipe that worked. I don't see why Kansas City now with Kelsey, who absolutely exposes us, why that doesn't help their game. I don't see how the Steelers offense can keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And that's where my big fall through here comes, is the Chiefs have better offensive line, better wide receivers, better tight end. Arguably even on the running back side, just for the simple fact their running backs can hit holes where our running back doesn't have holes. Let's be honest here. The Steelers have only beaten 2 teams with a winning record, and only one of them have they beaten since week 1. Let's not act like the Steelers have been competitive in the games with teams with winning records. They've been blown out. I mean, you're talking the Bengals blew us out twice. The Chargers blew us out but let us back in the game. Who else do we have on there? The Chiefs blew us out. And we have 2 other games we lost to a teams with winning records, and I have to think back who they are now. Green Bay, I'm pretty sure they blew us out. And who else will we have played here?
Green Bay beat us by 10. Raiders beat us by 9.
Nope, the Raiders. Our early year in the Raiders, we lost to the fucking Raiders. Jesus, I forgot that one. Thanks for that memory, Laskers. And we would have missed the playoffs because we lost to damn Derek Carr. I swear to God, I wouldn't have done anything. I'd be in the same seat I am right now, telling you the same stuff I am right now, but I'd be talking postseason Steelers and what other fun things are going on.
You'd basically feel more like a Colts fan.
I'd never have to feel like a Colts fan. I had 2 Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks back-to-back times and only won 1 Super Bowl. I never have to feel like that because we won 2 with our Hall of Famers, so suck it, Colts.
Let's go.
All right, neither here nor there. Let's get into this game. Let's get into the numbers. We're here, so why the hell not have it happen? Why not have a vintage Ben throwback? Why not have a 200-yard, 3-touchdown day from Najee, as Laskers wants to see? Why not see T.J. Watt get to the quarterback, Patty Mahomes makes some off-balance throws, and Ahkello Witherspoon come up with a couple more interceptions because he seems to be the only guy who can catch the football on the defense? Why not a coming-out party for all the Devin Bush haters? Why not this week, Devin? Why not shut down Travis Kelce? Why can't it be that the first-round talent, the second-round talent the Pittsburgh Steelers have drafted show out this week? Why not? That's simply what I'm going to say. Last week was Miracle Sunday. This playoff run, I'm just going to say it's why not. That's what I'm going with. The calling call has to be why not. Hell, our quarterback's behind it already. Hey, we're 20-point underdogs. Let's just go out and play football. I mean, why not? Cam Hayward's out there. We're only 14-point underdogs. I thought it'd be more than that. Why not? Why not Pittsburgh? Why not now? Why not the man who talked Jerome Bettis out of retirement for 1 more season? Because he's like, Jerome, why not come back and win a Super Bowl? Why not that guy? Why not the coach you see on my screen right now, Mike Tomlin? Why not your 2021-2022 Pittsburgh Steelers, Laskers?
I don't have an answer for why not, but here's what I'm going to predict. Cam Hayward, pick 6.
That'd be nice to see.
I like
why
that.
not?
I like that. I like that.
He had he had a pick last week, so or no, he didn't. Sorry, but I'm going to go with why not go with that?
If he had a pick, I'd be stoked.
It was the other Cameron.
Yes, Cam Sutton. Quite different players. One's like 2 of the other.
Yeah. But I'm still going with it. He's going pick 6 this week.
I dig that. Why not? Gingy, why not?
Why not?
I'm asking you.
Why not have the Steelers come out there and rule with some classic Steeler football? That's what I think they're going to need to win. And that what I'm talking about is we're going to have to see Ben Roethlisberger right around the 20 for 30, 33 numbers. Two tuts by Najee. And that's going to be your explosion right there. 28 points.
Explosion. Why not explode this week? I mean, there's nothing else to go out there. I guess we could talk about other playoff games if we wanted to, but I don't see any point of focusing on any game that's not Pittsburgh right now, because that's what the people want to know. That's what they want to see. I mean, you'd look into last time we played the Chiefs. Patty Mahomes only threw for 258 yards. I mean, that's not overly impressive. They only ran the ball for about, $120, $130. That's less than what the Steelers give up on average. So you're talking, compared to our season averages, we held the Chiefs below it in all defensive categories outside of points. So why the hell not just show up and put them down in the points this time? Why not go into the fourth quarter down? Was it 30 points we went into the fourth quarter down?
Oh, it might have been.
Hold on, let's see here. Yeah, it was, no, they had to kick a field goal in the third quarter to put us down 30 because we went into the fourth quarter after Boz's field goal. We were only down 27 going into the fourth. You're talking Najee last time ran for about 5 yards a carry, albeit a lot in garbage time. Even Benny Snell was about 4 yards a carry. Mason Rudolph had a 17-yard run in there. I mean, hell, this team can show up a little bit. This team can ball out. We had some sacks of Patty Mahomes. I believe even my most hated on person. I think Highsmith got to Patty Mahomes once. So
He did.
this is there we go. This is a situation where Mike Tomlin better look smart for saying he wants volunteers and not hostages, and we better not let Melvin Ingram wreck the game, because if we do, I'm going to be beyond pissed.
Yeah, quite possible. Could have kept that guy hostage.
Definitely not help a conference foe. That's the thing. If we trade him to the NFC, I have a little different feel on it, but trading him to a contender in the AFC, no bueno. No bueno. With that, we're not even going to make offensive and defenses. I just want to know, when we're going into the why not playoff run, who is the X factor for week 1, the first game, the 0-0 Steelers versus the 0-0 Chiefs? Who's the X factor for the Steelers to win this game? Laskers, you want to go first?
Sure. Najee. We need running. We can't afford to have Ben have to pass the ball 60 times to have a chance to maybe win, but I don't think if he throws that many times we have a chance to win.
That's fair. Gingy?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. My X factor is going to be different, but I agree with last year's in regards. Najee really stepped up. Last week he bailed Ben out big time on one where he caught a one-hander that was thrown way behind him. You remember that? I think that was an OT on one of those last drives. Bailed him out big time. I think that the X factor, Donkey Laskers, is going to have to lie where the Steelers' strengths lie. Frankly, what got him here is not that offensive unit. I think the X factor is going to have to lie with TJ Watt. His pressure on Patty Mahomes is the only thing really that we're going to have that's going to be able to disrupt the strength of that Kansas City offense. I think that's going to be your X factor.
I like that. That was going to be my original one. But you know what? You took it, so I'll go a little outside the box here. X factor for me has to be a guy who can both be responsible for stopping the Chiefs' passing game and stopping their running game. Clearly, the defense stepping up is going to have to be an X factor. And I think it's time for Devin Bush to put his nightmares behind him and start balling out like a top 20 pick he was. He needs to be able to play downhill in the running game, stopping both Williams and I guess Gore's going to be the other guy because Edwards-Helaire's out, right? So it's going to be Williams and Gore. He has to play downhill. He has to stop them. But at the same time, he has to be the man capable of keeping Travis Kelce in check because he was drafted to be that all-around linebacker. He needs to step up, and he needs to have a game if the Steelers are to have a chance. And with that, before we get into predictions, you guys got anything else to say about last week, playoff week?
I got one other thing to say about this. Tomlin should be the X factor as long as he keeps Kendrick Green off the field.
Oh God, please, no Kendrick Green ever again in my lifetime. He can sit his ass right there beside Ray McLeod, and he who shall not be named.
I buy into it. No,
anything else from you, Gingy?
Donkey. I'm stoked. Last week's game had me on the edge of my seat for the final entire quarter, about an hour, real time. My heart was palpitating, man. It was a good outcome to the end of regular season football. Let's give us some prime time on Wildcard weekend.
Let's go. I'm waiting all week for the Sunday night. Let's go.
Yeah.
Carrie, lead us. Micah has such a crush on you, Carrie. Lead my Bugaboos team to victory. Oh, by the way, gotta give a shout out to my wife before I get into predictions for the game. So we're watching the Sunday night game, and I'm here yelling, "No effing way," because it's about to be a tie. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "It's about to be a tie." She goes back to bed because she's got to get up at 2 to work, and she just hears me and the kids yelling, as Daniel Carlson kicks a field goal. We're just running around the house, and she comes out going, "Shh, your daughter's sleeping." I'm like, "Well, she should get up and celebrate." It was a good time in Alaska in the Paris household, I'll tell you what. And Bug Boo starts yelling around, chanting Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. It was a good time. I had a great time. And with that, I'll lead you into my predictions. And my great time ends Chiefs 30-16 over the Steelers. Laskers, to you.
I'm not going to go quite as bad as you, but I'm going Chiefs 21, Pittsburgh 18, all points from Boswell.
That's a lot of field goals.
You know your man. You know what your man Gingy's doing. Explosion. 4 tuts on the board. We're not seeing Boswell except for extra points. Steelers 28, Kansas City 24.
Why not?
Book it.
Why not? All right, well, we have some good predictions. I think we did a pretty good job breaking down what the Chiefs are able to do with their explosive over-the-top offense with guys like Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce. I don't even want to name his name, Tyreek Hill. Patty Mahomes, a defense that's stellar, if not great, and has some good guys on the backside like the Honey Badger. So we brought you our predictions. You know what we're going to do. Someone's going to be right, by the way. Thanks, Gingy, for taking the tough one there. It means at least one of Donk Nation's going to be right here.
Heck yeah.
With that, it's time to go to shout-outs. We'll go. Laskers, hit me with a shout-out.
I think we're all going to have the same shout-out. Congrats to TJ for tying the single-season record on sacks. I personally think he should have had one more. And dang you, Cam Hayward, for getting that penalty.
Oh, that was a tough Cam Hayward penalty. Good shout-out, Laskers. I echo it. Another great Steelers linebacker coming into lore. This isn't just a one-season thing, man. He's been putting up sacks in the teens and double digits since he's been a rookie. And it culminates this year with 22 and a half tying Michael Strahan. Shout out.
Well, other than I just try to break my feet, I would give the same shout out as you guys, but that'd be kind of boring. So I'm going to give a shout out to a guy who, for the first time in my life, I was really critical of, and that's Mike Tomlin, and it's purely because the way this team was getting blown out way too often this year. But Mike Tomlin keeps his head down, keeps his team grinding, pushes a, let's be honest, below average talent team here to the playoffs, and now we're all just saying, why not? Because we're here. Teams have done it before. You just have to play 4 good football games. This team's here. This team's won more than they lost. I think Mike Tomlin deserves a shout out because no one gave this team any life. Not any media person, not any of the fans, especially after that second blowout to the Bengals. It was, well, what do we do? And you know what? They put their nose to the ground. They went out. They won football games. I think a coach deserves a big shout out for that, keeping this team together and making the playoffs. Say what you want. The NFL record now, I believe Tomlin has for seasons in a row without a losing record. There's a reason for that. This guy, sometimes these teams seem to be terrible, but he seems to get performance out of them. And let's not forget, he's the only person who's ever been able to handle Antonio Brown. So shout out to you, Mike Tomlin. And, of course, TJ Watt. Great year. And shout out, Ben. One more run, one more gunslinger moment. Please make it a good one.
Here, here.
With that, it's time to let you know I am the Viking Donkey Viking _ Donkey on Twitch. Twitter's where you can reach me. Leave a comment at your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. That's the YouTube. That's where we put all the content. That's where you get to see us unless you watch on my stream, which if you do, you are super loyal. I appreciate it because normally my stream's a half an hour behind where I am in real life because of lag. So kudos for you for watching 30 minutes of content in an hour and a half of time. You're a true champion. And we'll send it over to Laskers. We'll send it over to Gingy. They'll let you know where to go. They'll let you know how to sign it out. And Steeler Nation, you better wave them as hard as you can because it's time for Why Not Football.
Well, everyone can find me at Laskers everywhere. And here's my statement. And I said this to Gingy earlier. He didn't really get it. But, Ben, why not one more last time? Each game for the next 4. If you've ever been in that position where you want one more beer and you're going to say it's one more last time, well, let's do it 4 more times, buddy.
One more beer. Hold on. Gotcha.
One more last time, Ben. Let's do it. Wave them if you got them, and here we go, Steelers. Gingy to you.
Hell yeah. We Mutant Gingy here, Xbox Live, we gaming. We talking football with the boys, but not just any football. Jackson Jennings. Playoff wildcard weekend, Steeler football. Get hype, Steeler Nation. Wave them if you got them. Here we go, Steelers.